Where'll you be going?
Texas?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Go on, make it happen.
And now here's Steve and Michelle.
Welcome to Mallet and Michelle. I am Michelle Lewis, and sitting across from me is Steve Mallet.
Hello, hello.
Hello, who has pigpen tacos already on his mind?
True, I do. I was sitting at my desk a few minutes ago going, God, I can't wait till lunch.
And he's going to steal all my french fries while I eat my kids' turkey sandwich.
It's true.
For sure.
We're the regulars over there. I don't even think they ask us what we want anymore at Pigpen. We just walk up and they put in our order and off we go.
Well, I've upgraded to the turkey sandwich because I was eating queso and chips for a long time.
Yeah, turkey sandwich probably much healthier. Well, we got to thank our sponsors. Could not do this show without our wonderful sponsors.
Absolutely. Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
Where the drinks are smooth, the mood is easy, and your to-do list politely waits in the car.
Your to-do list. Oh, that's pretty good, Steve.
That's not
Look at
bad,
you.
huh?
Jovi Belterra.
Where 55 plus means more freedom, more fun, and zero interest in slowing down.
That's about right.
Yeah.
South Star Bank.
When you call the branch, you talk to someone at the branch, not halfway around the world.
And the one, the only Mallet Integrity Team Real Estate.
Proven pros, serious results, real estate done right every time. Thank you to those sponsors. That's what helps us put the show on.
Thank you very much. Hey, Steve, Mr. Speed Demon, have you heard of...
the guest. Yes,
dadgummit.
Barb Higginbotham from Kingdom Sound is going to come in and join us today. So they have a studio here in Dripping Springs.
Speaking of slowing down, Michelle, slow down and talk about the guest.
Get out of that fast lane. Yeah, Barb and her husband, John Ray, have this studio in Dripping Springs, and she's going to come in and critique all our audio, video equipment and probably tell us what we're doing wrong.
Yeah, they own Kingdom Sound and Moon Labs Studios, but we've had her in here before. We met her at an event that we hosted. And
where we told people how to put on a podcast.
And we confused everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she talked about wanting to do a podcast, so I guess we'll catch up with her.
We will.
And see if she
catch
ever
up.
was able to do it.
Okay, so now can I talk about you being a speed demon?
Yes, I am a speed demon.
Okay, so you are a speed demon. Have you seen a lot of police officers on the road lately?
I don't know if I've seen...
Do you even pay attention?
I pay attention, but I don't know if I've seen more than usual.
Well, from July 18th through August 3rd, TxDOT has an initiative focused on curbing speeding and reducing traffic fatalities. It's increased law enforcement statewide, and which I have seen a lot of police officers on the road. APD here in Austin said that in 2024, speeding was the cause of nearly 164,000 crashes. So basically on August 4th, you can speed again. Not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what APD, a press release came out, but it's not only APD, it's all across the state, all across. To remind motorists that speeding can be dangerous and expensive, TxDOT is partnering with law enforcement agencies across the Lone Star State as they step up efforts to enforce speed limits during Operation Slowdown. In addition to writing tickets, law enforcement will spend extra time on the roads, reminding motorists not to speed. That is their press release. So what do you think about that,
Have
buddy?
you ever noticed that anybody driving slower than you is a freaking idiot and everybody driving faster than you is a speed demon or on his way to die? It's like, doesn't really matter. If they're in the left lane going 45 miles an hour, you're like, get out of the way, you freaking idiot. And if you're in the right lane and they go by you going 75, you're like, oh, that guy's going to die.
Well, I do feel over the last 5 years or so, the roads have gotten more ridiculous. People have, and I don't know if it's because people have moved in here to
Part
Texas
of it is all
and
the construction.
and
There's
they
a
don't
lot of
understand
construction.
how we drive.
Yeah,
you know,
I
like I'm a pretty friendly driver, you know, especially unless you're trying to merge in front of me and you cut 20 cars behind me.
Yeah.
You know, I will run you off the road. I will sit there and die. But speaking of, did you hear about the big traffic fatality that happened up at Temple right by Buc-ee's?
No.
So 18-wheelers have been increasingly say that the drivers have gotten more and more aggressive towards them. And so this was an 18-wheeler, I think, with 2 or 3 cars right in front of the Buc-ee's at Temple 35. And it was awful.
people cutting. I see people cutting in front of trucks, and they think that those trucks can slow down like your little 5,000-pound vehicle. It takes them 5 times as long to stop as a regular car.
Do you know?
If you slam your brakes on or pass, you go, oh, I'm just going to swerve in front of this truck and go on the off ramp to get off the freeway. That truck may just plow right into you. They can't stop.
You know, at the back of an 18-wheeler, there's a bar.
Yeah.
At the back of it. You know what that's called?
I don't know what it's called, but I know what it's for.
Do you know why? One of the reasons why it came about?
Because trucks would stop and people would slam into the back of them, and the back of that truck overhangs about 8 feet, so it'd basically shear off the top of the car.
It's called the Mansfield Bar, and for Jane Mansfield, when she went, her and her car, there were 3 people in the front. Her children were in the back seat. I think she had 3 children in the back seat. And
were they all killed or just
everyone in the front seat was killed, but the children survived.
I mean, that was a great advancement. That probably has saved millions of lives. Well, thousands, if not millions.
TxDOT has a couple of safety tips out there. Match your speed to your road conditions. Slow down and allow for more room to stop when traffic is heavy, roads are slick, or construction. Look for road signs, alerted. And also, I have this. It happens sometimes where all of a sudden it's like, oh, now we're 45. Now we're 55. Yeah. So just look for those roadsides. Remember, fines are double in a school zone. That's about to happen in a couple of weeks, folks, or a work zone when workers are present. And the most important one is always buckle up. My uncle, Michael, who I am named after, was killed in a car accident coming home from UT for Christmas towards San Angelo. And he wasn't, of course, this was in the late 50s, but he wasn't wearing his seatbelt.
I just saw a video the other day that was about when seatbelts first came out, nobody wanted to wear them. And there was this whole movement about how seatbelts were dangerous and it was going to lock you in a car that was going to sink in a lake and all these things. And the public fought it for years and years and years. And finally, the public started doing it. And it's one of the biggest accomplishments of a PR movement that it's used in schools to talk about a successful PR, public information campaign, the use of seatbelts, because people did not want to do it for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, I know. I think it was my stepfather. He hated it. I think it was in the 80s here in Texas when it came about, and he was like, he didn't want to.
Americans are kind of funny about that stuff. It's like, you can't make me be safe.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well.
Be safe out there. The thing that drives me crazy the most, besides speeding, I don't really mind speeding as much if they're driving safely. It's these people that get 5 feet behind you at 70 miles an hour.
Safely speeding.
You're so close to me, I can't see the grill on your car. All I can see is the hood of your car through my back window. That's too damn close. If I even touch my brakes, we're going to become one car.
Now I go extra slow.
Yeah.
Now I really
watching for those deer now that you've
I did
your
it.
car.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a story that has really kind of been under the radar, and I didn't really hear much about it.
What is it? The itty bitty committee story?
No, I don't know if I'm going to do that one. I don't think. I'm a little squishy on that one. I'm not sure if our...
okay, read your story.
I'm not sure if our listeners will want to keep abreast of that story or not.
Maybe keep abreast. Oh, that's pretty funny. If you run into Steve or I socially, go to Pigpen today for lunch, and maybe Steve will tell you the itty-bitty committee story.
If we have time, I may do that. But this is a serious story. And when we were in Oregon, we were hiking along some road sections of that Oregon Trail that we just did. And we passed some homes that were absolutely atrocious. The fact that, they're mobile homes or RVs that are 30 and 40 and 50 years old with holes in the walls and the floors falling out. People are living there.
Yeah.
Sad
it is sad,
me.
but that's what they can afford. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know. But now, and then that has morphed into, in the last 10 or 15 years, people living on the streets, camping on the streets. Mm-hmm. The homeless problem has gotten really bad in this country. President Trump, a week or so ago, signed an executive order directing resources to cities and states to remove homeless people from sleeping on streets and to crack down on drug use.
Federal resources?
It's federal
Well,
resources.
there you go.
So the order directs Attorney General Pam Bondi to reverse precedents that limit state and local governments' ability to commit people on the streets who are at risk to themselves or others. So, I mean, what's been happening is these cities are collecting all this money for supposedly to help the homeless, and they're basically just turning a blind eye to these people that really need help. There's a lot of people that are mentally ill, addicted to terrible substances, including fentanyl. I mean, there's part of this thing about fentanyl is that people that are using fentanyl do that zombie thing where it's like their legs lock up, so they're standing up, but they're basically falling.
Their body is
asleep.
like folded.
They look like zombies walking down the street. I've seen pictures of streets with 40 and 50 people just standing there bent over at the waist, and obviously they're doing fentanyl.
I'll be in Oregon in a couple of weeks, so I'll be able to.
Yeah.
I'm not in that section.
Yeah,
but.
Oregon is, we didn't spend much time in Portland. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. I think a lot of cities are starting to realize that this can't keep up. The more money they spend, the worse this has gotten. Yeah. In fact, I think this is one of the biggest scams and failure of city and states ever in the terms of helping the public. They collect all this money in taxes and they've spent it on homeless, and homeless has doubled every year for years and years and years. The city of Austin spends like $30,000 a year per homeless person, and it actually is a little bit better now because they are starting to enforce the camping prohibition. But hopefully this, the federal government directing funds to ensure people sleeping on streets and causing public disorder and suffering from serious mental illness, that money being used to move people to facilities and treatment centers might start to make a dent in this.
Let me ask you a question. So I'm wondering if there's going to be federal funds helping move these people to facilities, but once their time limit is up, whether at a drug treatment facility or a halfway house or whatever it is, I would hope to see there's programs in place to help them wouldn't that be nice? job placement or something like that. I don't know.
It seems to me like a lot of the money that is being used is basically just supporting them to live this terrible lifestyle.
I know that
they're not these. Austin, I think, was really bad. Instead of saying, "Okay, here we're going to help you," they're going, "Oh, we'll give you blankets, we'll give you food. Here, you can come."
No,
we'll
give you needles.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, it's hopefully this is at some point you have to say 10 years of what we've been doing, spending literally billions of dollars. The state of California has spent $20 billion on their homeless problem, and I guarantee you there is not a city in California where the homeless situation has gotten any better. Guaranteed.
I tell you what, next week I want to talk about what's going on in the Palisades, but just really quick, I think one of the things they just passed, the Palisades fire, that they are going to be buying those lots, and they're going to put up low-income housing up there, and these people are in arms.
Yeah,
but yeah, so
it makes you wonder. Has the city or the state been trying to do that all along? That's very valuable real estate.
It's really sad. It's really sad.
This order follows a March order that President Trump signed, executive order that directed National Park Service to clear the homeless encampments and get rid of the graffiti on federal land. I think that's a great first step too. Our public lands need to be preserved, not just let people destroy them with trash.
People have no respect anymore for stuff.
I actually think a lot of these people, I mean, they feel, I think in some level they feel encouraged to live this lifestyle.
Well, they put it on social media too.
Yeah, they have so many people telling them, "Oh, it's all right, it's not you, here's a blanket. Oh, you have a tent." Oh, they're just like almost encouraging them to do that. So hopefully this executive order is a first step to really actually helping some of these people.
I agree. I hope that
life.
It's a hand up, not a handout.
Yes,
is what I hope. How do you feel about being recorded everywhere you go?
I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, think about it. We have traffic cameras, we have shopping cameras, dash
Every
cams,
store,
ring cameras.
Yeah.
When we go visit homes, there's been a couple of times where people are recording in their homes while we're visiting real estate wise.
Yeah.
So
you have to tell people, hey, we're going into a house, there's cameras in here, so make sure you watch what you say.
Well, the city of Kyle is the most surveilled city in central Texas.
Really?
Here in Hayes County, the city of Kyle currently owns and operates 47 AI-powered government cameras. And what are they watching? Are they watching cows?
Everything.
I said cows, Cabela's, and cowboys.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was. But Austin, with nearly 1 million people, had 40 cameras. Kyle has about 62,000 people. The city council members in Kyle approved to apply for a grant to get a mobile $50,000 telescopic pole mounted to a camera system. And the people that are against this, they're saying it's challenging your civil liberties. But my understanding is when you're in public, you have no right to privacy, I guess, in one sense.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, you can't be filmed when you're in your house, but.
No, you can't be filmed when you're in your house. But they want to use it for parades, festivals, large city gatherings. This was in direct response to what happened in New Orleans and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But look, on one side, I thought, it's kind of yucky. But on the other side, I saw firsthand at Founders. I was sitting next to Sheriff Hippolito, and we were talking about the drones and all the increased security at Founders. One of the drones found a missing child.
I remember that. We talked about it.
They will not do facial recognition. They will not do, I think.
Not yet.
Not yet. Austin did away with the license plate readers. They're going to be in high visible areas only. And if approved, when they apply for this grant, the policy will be created on the logistics of the use. So I guess they want it approved, and then they'll figure out how they'll use it.
Yeah, I go back and forth on this because if you're not doing anything wrong, if you're not doing any criminal activity, what do you have to be afraid of? But then you also think, okay, sometimes it's the speed limit's 55 and you're driving 61. Okay, am I going to get thrown in jail for that now because I'm on camera? There's some things that are just sort of like, okay, it's kind of a gray area. You are breaking the law, but you can't assume that you're not being watched everywhere.
Every single where, but it's getting really, really harder and harder to hide a body nowadays.
Yeah, well, you can't do it anymore. You even out in the middle of nowhere, you're on camera.
Even out in the middle of nowhere, you can't hide a friggin' body.
You can't hide a body. What the hell is wrong with this world? Well,
it's really hard.
Yeah, I have a quick little story I wanted to talk about. We are not a real estate podcast.
No,
but
we're not.
We do talk about, because we own a real estate team here in Dripping Springs, we do talk about it occasionally. This story jumped out at me. U.S. home sales see highest June cancellation rate on record, meaning houses that were listed for sale, somebody put in an offer, both parties agreed, went under contract. 15% of those in June were canceled at some point between going under contract and closing.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't close. That is an all-time high.
That sucks.
Yeah. So in June last year, it was 13.9%. So this year was 15%. 57,000 pending home sales in the country were canceled in June. That's 57,000 sellers had a contract on their house, and then it terminated for some reason.
Had this conversation with some of the women in Dripping Springs Elite last week, just a couple of them. And the question is, are these buyers now putting multiple offers on multiple homes and figuring out which one, because they're saying it's a buyer's market, and figuring out which one's going to give them, and so they lose their option money,
Well, yeah.
And so, okay.
And right now, sellers will give $100 option, so you're not going to lose it. Back during COVID, option fees were $2,500.
So did they say why people are?
Well, this didn't say that was the cause. They said people believe prices will go down or rates will decline, and that they're kind of holding out. They're not super motivated because they think, the market's going to get better. I think this is one of the best times to buy that I've ever seen. It's like a stock. You don't want to buy a stock when it's at an all-time high. If you believe it's a good stock, you want to buy it when it's low. If it has a big drop and you think, wow, that's a great company, I should buy some of that. Somebody was just telling me a story the other day. It was an oil company, and during COVID, oil prices just plummeted, and this company their stock went down to a penny stock, and a couple people bought a ton of that stock. They're millionaires now. because obviously the oil industry came way back, and it was a solid company. It wasn't a company that was going to go away. It wasn't going to be like Enron or something like that.
Well, either you're going to chase the market down or you're going to chase the market up.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, right now, if the market improves a bunch and, you start getting multiple offers and things like that, man, the prices go up fast.
Yeah.
They go up really fast. So if you can afford the down payment, you have the down payment and you can afford the payment, now's the time to buy, especially if you're renting. If you're renting, that money is just going to pay the landlord's mortgage. If it's a couple $100s a month difference owning versus renting and you have the down payment, man, just do it now. This is a great time to buy. And then, who knows what rates are going to do. But
there's some killer deals out there right now
really
that surprising.
There
Belterra,
really
there's some killer deals.
Yeah, like not all time, but the lowest prices we've seen probably since 2019 on some homes. Yeah. So, it's a good time to buy. So, we'll see what happens with that. But hopefully the cancellations start to decline.
I still think that you should do your itty bitty committee.
I'm so nervous about this.
Okay, wait. Okay. I'll read the title. Okay, hold on. I'm stealing. Right. Sorry. Breast implants. Small breast implants are on the rise. That's actually pretty funny.
On the rise.
On the rise.
This story kind of caught my attention because I like stuff about fitness, and it wasn't the sexual aspect of it as much as just why would this be happening?
Well, it says that women with larger implants who have lost weight with GLP-1s are now wanting breasts proportionate to their body. Those with natural breasts can also sometimes experience something doctors called Ozempic breasts. Ozempic boobies.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, I've heard of Ozempic face, but not Ozempic breast.
It's sort of a change in our culture from sort of more voluptuous and voluminous, their figures
to the itty bitty committee.
Yeah, to the itty bitty committee.
It says plastic surgery is no longer considered taboo, which I happen to agree with that. And many people now speak openly about their surgeries online. So on TikTok, the cherry emoji has become the official symbol for smaller implants.
So these women that want to have boob jobs now are going in instead. It used to be double D was what most women went in when they had
Pamela Anderson.
Yes, and that has really declined a bunch, and more women are doing requesting Bs and small Cs, which I don't even know what that means, really, honestly. But
wait.
I know that's not double D.
Yesterday he was telling me the story, and he goes, I don't know, like what are they getting, like a C+? And I was on the freaking floor. I was like, there's no such thing. What is it, an F? You get an F on your boob. Well, Steve.
This woman, Vale Genta, she spent years Googling tiny boob job before she found a plastic surgeon that would give her a perky B cup of her dreams. And she calls them her ballerina boobs.
Ballerina boobs?
So,
my gosh.
Yeah, times change. There's it seems like that's a trend where fit is more, which is good. A good thing. Fit is better. Some of these people the last few years that are like, I'm 200 pounds overweight, but I'm healthy. You're lying to yourself if you think
you are.
That's
You're lying. Stop.
Anybody that's overweight doesn't deserve to be treated mean or anything, but please don't tell us that's healthy.
You know what? I'm all for. Do you, boo. Yeah. Whatever makes you feel good, you do it as long as it doesn't infringe on my rights.
Yeah.
So do what you do.
And you don't tell people that you being unhealthy is a healthy thing just because you don't want anybody to say. I've never heard of a doctor. You go to the doctor and he says, you need to drink more Coke and eat more cake. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Actually, I can tell you this, that after my husband's heart attack and we went to see Dr. Paul Tucker, he's like an amazing cardiologist, and his heart rate and levels were really, really down. And he said, I want you to leave this office right now, and I want you to go have the greasiest plate of Mexican food that you can find. And we were like, so doctor's orders. Yeah, doctor's orders.
Well, okay, I take it back. It has happened before.
Doctor's orders.
Well, we're going to have Barb Higginbotham come in here from Kingdom Sound. So hang on, sit tight. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back.
Vodka-flavored vodka? How boring.
At Deep Eddy Vodka, we say, why stop there?
Our vodka's made with real fruit, handcrafted right here in Texas.
We've got bold cocktails, refreshing mocktails, food trailers on the weekends, and plenty of local events.
So come sip something with a little more soul than just plain vodka.
Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Live here, sip here.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
South Star Bank has remained true to its Texas roots for over 100 years. A commitment to the people and communities they serve, along with flexible financial solutions, allow their clients to shine. Mortgage loans, checking accounts, or complete business solutions. South Star Bank is your financial partner. South Star Bank, trusted by professionals, backed by tradition, built for Texas.
SouthStarBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender, NMLS 410624. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. This vibrant 55 and up community is located in Dripping Springs, just right outside of Austin. 1 and 2 bedroom homes, resort style amenities, and just steps away from shops and restaurants. Forget the yard work. This is your time to relax, make new friends, and enjoy the life you've dreamed of. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. Live JoviBelterra.com. 737-387-6870.
This show is brought to you in part by the Mallet Integrity Team, serving Dripping Springs, Austin, and the surrounding areas of Central Texas since 2004. When you need the best real estate advice and service, give them a call at 512-829-2062 or email them at malletintegrityteam.com. And now here's Steve and Michelle.
And we are back with Barbara Higginbotham of Kingdom Sound. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Yeah. Welcome. We met you at a women's, what was the?
Dripping Springs Women's Club.
Dripping Springs Women's
Business
Club. We
networking.
did a little presentation about starting a podcast, and you reached out to us, and you came in. This is your second time in the studio, but welcome to actually being on our show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us, we always start off with, how did you end up in Dripping Springs?
Well, how did I end up in Dripping Springs is we were looking at a house in South Austin. And so we lived in South Austin. After we got married, we were there, and we had a very small house. We were going to renovate the garage because we had a baby on the way.
Oh.
And the funny thing is that when we were in that house, we loved it so much. We were like, we want to stay in the South area. We just need to find something that's a little bigger. When we were comparing the cost of like renovating the garage and making it into a bedroom versus buying a new house, right? Mm-hmm. And if you knew our space, we had, I think it was 90% studio.
Oh, wow.
So Moon Lab Studios in Kingdom Sound used to be one company.
And they were in the garage?
Oh, no, that was the whole house. That was 90% the house.
Oh, my gosh.
Was the studio.
Geez. Okay.
And 10% was our home. It was just the bedroom, and we had the kitchen.
Oh.
And that was it.
Wow.
You know, and with a kid on the way, and it was COVID too, so I was pregnant during COVID. We were like, this is not going to work out. So we either need to renovate the garage and make the kids' room over there, which is just random. Like, you know, why would you do that, right? Mm-hmm. Or find another house. So we found a house in South, like Manchac area. And it was beautiful. Yeah. It had river access, like little river area.
Really?
It was high up. Yeah, it was like the Manchac, I can't remember the Onion Creek.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was.
Okay.
But we were so excited. It wasn't the ideal size. And it was big enough, but we were going to put our studio in the master bedroom.
Oh,
And we were going to live in the other side of the house. And the kids' room was super small, but it had a beautiful balcony, and it had a bed outside that you could like swing on. And it was just like,
But you didn't buy that one?
And nope, we did not. So this is a funny story. So it was close to Sprouts, close to everything. And what ended up happening is we were about to go under contract. The realtor, she just vanished. Like we couldn't get a hold of her. The owner couldn't get a hold of her. The owner reached out to us and found out about us. So she called us and she was like, oh, yes, like, I don't know what happened to my realtor. I haven't heard back from her. She's not answering any of my phone, like nothing. Like she was just vanished. And we were like, okay, that's weird. And then we were talking to the owner more. And we were like, oh, yeah, so she had mentioned that, you know, you're on the 10-year flood plain, right? And we're like, well, we don't want to do that. Like, when was the last time it flooded? It's like, oh, no, yeah, it flooded. And we came all the way to the top. We were like, what?
Oh, I'm glad you found that out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he didn't
like-
hear back from the realtor, because it's really it's very expensive to have a house that's in the floodplain. Very expensive.
Yeah. So we were like, I was like, we asked the realtor, had there been any water? And there's like, oh, no, it did during the 10-year floodplain. So it's not going to happen again in another 10 years.
Yeah, well, that's not
And that's not
necessarily how it works.
Yeah. Well, now we know. But yeah, so the owner just very blatantly was like, all the way to the top. And my husband's like, what? I was like, our gear? There's no way.
Oh, no kidding.
So we were like, well.
Even with insurance.
Yeah, we were like, well, that's not gonna be a plan, and that's just we're out of it, right? So then we started looking, and my brother-in-law, he's a realtor, and he's in the Lakeway area, and he kind of like knew what we were looking for, and then we kind of narrowed down. We're like, okay, we want land, we want to be a little bit outside the city, we want to be close enough to like a city or a small town, but we don't want to be in Austin. So he found a property here in Dripping Springs on 11.5 acres.
Oh.
The pictures online, I mean, ugly. Like, you look at the pictures, you're like, oh.
Was it one of those places that looked much better in person?
So we showed up.
Yeah.
We pulled up. We got to the top of the hill because it's at the top of the hill. And the view was like,
That's what sold it for you, I bet. Yeah.
and that was it. Like, we just, like, the backyard, like the feel.
Was there a house on it, or was it just land?
No, there's a house.
Oh, there's a house.
Yeah, so we needed a house, with some
Yeah.
land. We
Yeah.
weren't expecting to get 11.5 acres. We were looking maybe like 5 acres.
Sure.
But when we were looking at the Onion Creek, it was the same price range, but more land, a bigger house, the more square footage. But yes, it didn't look beautiful in online pictures. But then when we go inside, we're like, okay,
We can make this
we
work.
can make this work. It's
Yeah.
like white walls, everything. It was kind of like that, brown colors and things like that. And I was like, okay. I was like, let's do it. So
great.
we fell in love, and that was it. We didn't even look for another one, I don't think.
That
know,
was,
Barb,
that was the one.
Your accent tells me that you are not native to
I'm not.
the Austin area.
I am not.
Where did you originally grow up?
Monterrey, Mexico.
Monterey.
Yeah, originally from Monterrey, Mexico.
And what brought you to Texas?
So family,
Okay.
they own properties, all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I ended up going to St. Edward's University here
Okay.
in Austin. Well, not Dripping Springs, but in Austin.
Yeah.
And then during that time, I also studied abroad. I did the 6-year college program just because it's, it was 4 years plus extracurricular activities plus internships.
So where were you abroad?
Shanghai.
Shanghai.
So I did Shanghai.
Wow. How
For how many
amazing.
years?
So it was 1 year, like I think 10 months. But I got an internship. So I was studying Chinese at the time in college, and I wanted to study abroad, and I found Shanghai, and I was like, that's a great place to practice my Chinese. I got there after taking 4 years of college. You get there, and you're like, I have no idea what I'm saying. Like, I have all this words,
yeah.
but I can't speak it, right?
And how was it by immersion? Were you able to pick things up?
Yes. So the first word or phrase I learned was "iping pitio." Well, yeah, iping pitio.
Oh, what is that?
Could I please have a beer?
Was the next one, where's the bathroom?
No, not really. But I wish I had.
Yeah.
So,
Did you live by yourself there, or did you have other roommates or something?
so I had another roommate. So it was a program where you studied, part of the program was the first was just study abroad, right? And then after that, you could apply to work abroad. So I applied to work abroad, and I worked for this PR company in Shanghai. It's actually in Pudong, which is kind of like the business side of Shanghai.
Go ahead. Keep going.
And it was a PR and events company. And what they did, they promoted American products in the Chinese economy.
Oh.
So I worked with a group of people that they were Chinese. They were from there. And I just had the language thing that we would talk about, putting on a booth about American cheese. I think one of the products was American cheese.
It was selling American products in China.
In China.
Which has been a pretty hard sell, right? Because the Chinese people haven't really taken to American stuff that well, right?
I mean, that was was it 2000, what are we in? 2000, maybe 10, 11?
How was the response to you personally? Everybody
Everybody loved me.
Yeah.
Like everybody was really nice,
friendly.
Yeah, everybody was really friendly. I think they were. If you were to like a clubs, because we went to a lot of like clubs, a lot of times they wouldn't like American girls or mainly also American guys standing on like the little booth area dancing. They wanted the Chinese people to be up there.
Steve has no idea what that means, but I know exactly what that means. There's a box and you dance and you're like...
Sounds like American
But they were just like, it was a little bit. There were some places that were a little biased in that regard. But that was also like the little smaller towns. So like Shanghai is very expat. So you will meet people from all around the world. Like I had a lot of my roommates, they were from like Italy. They were from another girl, she's from Switzerland. So there were people from all over the place.
How about the food?
The food was amazing.
Yeah.
So you get like, there was a place that had Mexican food, but it was like high quality Mexican food.
Like interior Mexican food, not like
That's
our Tex-Mex.
Very strange to me, Barbara. You go to Shanghai or you go to China and you have Mexican food.
It was.
It's like me going to Rome and eating at Five Guys.
I know.
Let's just say that the burgers were more expensive than like some of the other food, like even Chinese food. Because a lot of what they eat is a lot of vegetables and like chicken, and all this kind of stuff, like rice. But if you went to go get a burger, it was more expensive to eat there. Like even like a, Whataburger, not Whataburger, but what is McDonald's? It was more expensive. Like your bill would be more.
I think most places burgers are more expensive than McDonald's. It's got to be one of the worst hamburgers in the world.
Hey, if you're hungry, McDonald's will slap.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
For sure. When you went to St. Ed's, what was your degree in?
That's funny. International business with a minor in theater.
Oh, okay.
But it was forced, but kind of. My dream was musical theater. Like I wanted to get a musical theater degree, but my parents were like, we're not going to pay for that.
It was probably smart.
It was very smart. Yeah. It was. So I was able to still get an international business degree with a minor in theater and a little marketing, and I did photography and piano. So that was my outlet.
Yeah.
So as a minor in theater, you do arts administration. So I did a lot of like tech work for, the theater there. I didn't actually apply to audition in any of the plays there. But that was just because it takes like those people, like your time is like, you're there for like 30 hours doing like theater stuff, like actually acting and practicing and all this stuff when they're preparing for it.
Is this where you met John Ray? At St. Ed's? No, my gosh.
Where did you meet him? Your husband, John Ray.
So I met him. So after college, I also did, I worked for Marriott International. Well, actually, no, I worked for White Lodging. So I worked at a hotel because I wanted to check out the hotel industry. And then after that, I was just, working for my dad, helping him like manage his business because he was like, I really need help. He has properties, all this kind of stuff. And then one of those days, I used to go to, I don't know if you remember this place called Baker Street. Mm-hmm. Back in the day on South Lamar.
Yeah.
I would go there all the time. Like that was my spot.
Right next to Half Price Books.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Is
right
it still there.
Remember the show, The Office?
Yeah.
Office Space? That's where that was filmed.
Oh.
Oh, really?
That's where that was filmed. Yeah, it's not. The Baker Street isn't still there. It's called something else now. But
so we went to Baker Street, and I was getting a cheesecake to go because I was like, I literally would go. Like the bartender, they knew me. Like it was like a hangout spot. After like when I worked at the hotel, I would get out at like 10 o'clock sometimes, and I would just go there and hang out. So I was waiting for my cheesecake because I'd already ordered it, and then this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm new here. Can I, I was like, oh, cool. I was like, nice to meet you. I was like, can I buy you a drink? And I'm like, no, thank you. I was like, no, thank you.
You can buy my cheesecake.
I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just getting cheesecake to go. I'm about to head to a party. I was 22, 23? No. Yeah. No, wait. How old am I? Oh, I know how old I am.
Yeah. Were you in school at that time? Or you had already graduated?
I had already graduated.
Okay.
I had already graduated. He had just moved from the Woodlands to Austin, and he was a musician. So he came to Austin as a musician. And I used to volunteer for the Hostel International downtown Austin. So I'd like to show people around town. Like I would take them through the Greenbelt. I would take them bar hopping. I did a lot of like all the crazy things like Pinball's Arcade. I don't know if you know Pinballs. I would take them to Pinballs because it was like BYOB. So it was like a very different thing that you could do, So for me, when he said, I just moved here from Houston, I was like, oh, I would love to show you around. Like, I can take you to, there's so many cool places. And he was checking out his friend's band playing at Baker Street. And he was like, okay, can I have your number? And I'm like, sure. So I gave him my number. Took him 3 times before we went out on a date.
He kept trying.
He kept trying.
Hey, can we meet up for coffee? Hey, can I
he didn't say coffee first. No. He said, hey, could you want to meet downtown? My friend's having a show. And I was like, I don't even remember what you look like. I was like, I met you, but I don't even know.
You did not make a good first impression.
I was like, I don't know you. Like, we barely talked. Like, it was literally like, yeah, sure, I would love to show you around, but, And it was, drinks, nighttime. I was like, no, that's not a good idea. I think he tried again. And he was like, hey, do you want to come over and watch a movie with my sister? I was like, he's come from a small town. So for him, that's normal.
That's normal. Yeah. You're like, this is serial killer vibes
and
right
I was
here.
Just like, come over to your house to watch a movie with your sister. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. I was like, I'll just hang out at home and, Netflix and, we can talk.
Netflix and chill, yeah.
That was during that same period of time. So.
Okay.
And then afterwards, he tried again. He said, well, and I guess we might have talked for a little bit because he knew I was vegetarian at the time. And he said, do you want to go get food at Bolden Creeks? Do you want to go to lunch tomorrow at Bolden Creeks? I was like, sure. It was April Fool's Day, though. Oh. And that morning, I woke up and I said, should I text him and say, Happy April Fools? And then just cancel.
Oh God!
Because I was just like,
mean.
I know that was like a little bit of like my, mean, like not sneaky, like just personality.
How long have y'all been married now?
We've been married since 2000 and hold on, I should know this. Was it?
Yes, you should know.
I should know this.
More than 10 years?
No, we started dating in 2014.
Now he's going to listen to this and he's going to go, he's going to be like, oh, he's got it.
Well, now on the spot, I'm like, darn it. So it was, 2019 we got married.
Okay.
So
right
not
before COVID?
Quite, yes. Right before COVID.
Okay.
So not quite 10 years.
And you have one or
two?
2 kids.
2 kids now. But we started dating in 2014.
Okay.
So we've known each other.
You played the long game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the long game. We actually have a song about how we met.
Oh, that's cool.
On Spotify.
So what does he play? What?
He plays everything and anything.
Really?
Yeah. He plays like synthesizer. He plays guitar. He plays some drums. He's gotten better at the drums, actually. But he plays, anything. He also produces music. So he does a lot of production. So when I met him, I was taking drum lessons with another friend of mine at the time. And I always liked music. So it was just like, I think our first date at that place turned into literally we just never stopped hanging out together.
So
that's cool.
We started a business together.
Have you ever performed with him?
Yeah.
You have?
We have our band. It's called Moonray.
Moonray. Okay.
We used to perform.
Moonray is the band. Is that right? Because you have multiple businesses listed here. You have Kingdom Sound, Moon Lab Studios, Moonray, Luna Properties, and Barbie Shoots.
Yes.
Well, that's a lot going on. I was trying to think, Michelle and I were talking, and I was thinking it's sort of like the gig economy where you have like all these different jobs going on at one time. I don't know how you keep track. So let's start off with Kingdom Sound. What is Kingdom Sound?
Live sound production company.
And what does that mean?
So we do events, anything from small corporate events to even conferences to large scale festivals.
So you would be the company that would come in, say somebody was going to have 1,000 people come in for a conference. You would set the sound up?
Yes.
Okay.
Mallet, turn around and look at the screen right now.
If you have speakers.
Oh, gosh.
I do.
Is that you, Barbara?
Yes.
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
That was in our music days. That was right
Let's see
before
if I can-
COVID. Oh God, you're not
If I
doing
can.
this.
Here.
Moonray-music.com. Oh, there's a DeLorean.
A DeLorean. Look at that.
Look at you.
Musical theater. How long ago was this, Barb?
That was in 2000 and
Is that genre?
it might have been in 2019. I don't know. You should have the date on.
I'm
there.
gonna just fast forward it.
Lozano film. Is that genre?
Yeah, that's genre. That's us. As soon as we met, we started making music together.
Oh, y'all are quirky. So much
Yeah.
fun. This is so cool. You got okay. Our listeners need to go moonray-music.com.
That was a fun video. It was shot in 2 days. We were waking up at 7 a.m, I think.
Oh, this is really cool. Okay, sorry.
Who did the camera work for? Did you hire somebody?
That was Diego Lozano. He was the director, and he organized everything. So he's a really good director. Now he directs for commercials. He did some other music videos in Austin. But he also did, his big thing right now is commercials.
Wow.
So this is like this kind of snuck in under the radar a little bit, did it not? Yeah. Like we didn't know about sure about this. This is really cool. So you guys recorded an album.
Yes.
Right? And so what was the response to it? So you do these festivals. What kind of music festivals do you guys do?
We do anything and everything. When we first started Kingdom Sound was 2015.
Okay.
And it started because one of our friends got us, we were musicians at the time, and we had gear, like live sound gear. We were like, hey, why don't we rent the gear to make some money, right? Yeah. So then one of our friends was like, hey, I have a contact at Silker Botanical Festival. Do you guys want to run the sound? And we're like, yes.
Oh my gosh.
We brought all our gear for like dirt cheap. I'm not even kidding you. Like it was just him and me like running everything for the Silker Botanical Festival.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, I think a weekend or 2 weekends. I don't remember, but it was like, we were doing everything.
But sometimes you got to do that just to get your name out, to get out there.
Yeah. That was a deal. And then afterwards I was like, okay, well, let's just put it on Craigslist. So I made an ad on Craigslist, and this guy reached out to us to do frat gigs at UT.
Okay.
And those frat gigs, they bring in like famous artists, right?
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They pay some money for like some good artists. Wow. So we got our teeth cut like just doing sound gigs at fraternity parties. And at the time, we were able to stay up till 3 a.m, you know, and I would be wrapping cables, putting all this stuff together, boxing the gear. Eventually, we ended up hiring engineers just because John was like, I like the studio engineering. I'm not a big fan of the live engineering.
Yeah.
So we ended up, we learned that by doing it so often. We're like, this is impossible. Like we're burnt out, we're tired.
Yeah.
Right. And then this guy, he also got us a gig at Hotspot. So when Hotspot first opened, we were the sound company for that, for Hotspot.
What's Hotspot?
It's this venue in North Austin.
Okay.
Now they're a different company, like somebody else runs the sound. But at that point we were working with this guy, we were doing that. And then from there, people just, word of mouth. We just ended up getting gigs in different places. And then when we moved to Dripping Springs, Austin is just so busy. Mm-hmm. So we moved to Dripping Springs, like, feels like this is like meant to be, because our wedding party was actually at the Terrace Club. Little did we know we were going to move to Dripping Springs until we bought that house and we're like, we're here. Like, I think we're meant to be here. And we ended up, my goal was, I knew about the Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival and I wanted to pitch to run that. Like that would have been like an amazing thing to do because we love songwriters. And also as musicians ourselves, we understand the sound. Sure.
And I saw you guys at Founders. You were running the sound at Founders.
So this was our first year.
With the music festival?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival. We're actually doing it for third year this time in October. So that's going to be us. It's 7 stages. So we only do 6 stages, and then Hudson's has their own. It's indoors.
Okay.
But then we also got Founders this past year.
Wow.
So we bid for that as well. And that was like, we really just want to be part of the community. Like we want to be, and I love small towns.
Yeah.
So I was like, I love Dripping Springs. I used to come here and like just visit and like go shop around. And it used to be kind of like, there used to be nothing here back in the day.
Yeah.
Even in college, I was, you could come here and it was like a small town feel. Now it's grown.
Really, it's really grown a lot in the last 10 years or so. But you're right. It used to just be a wide spot in the road. When you say you're going to do the music festival and you got 6 stages, is that what you said? God, that sounds like a ton of equipment. You guys own all that equipment? Or you rent it? Or?
No, we own. We've actually purchased equipment. We actually just got line arrays this past year. So now we are able to do, those line arrays that you see kind of hanging at big festivals.
Idea,
no. Like if you go to like ACL.
Okay.
So like those big line arrays, we just got those in this past year.
What's a line array do? I don't even know what that is.
So it projects the music. It's like usually like 1, 2, 3. You can do like 6 on each side, and it projects the music at this like angle like that.
Oh, okay.
So it gets a larger audience,
okay.
and they sound really good. Like especially if you're having a live band performing, it just has a better sound.
Yeah.
Do you and John Ray have defined roles in the company, or do you kind of tag team off of each other, like kind of whatever is needed? Like, Steve and I've worked for Steve for a little over 10 years. You don't work for John Ray. This is a company with you guys, but we have defined roles, but a lot of times, our roles kind of bleed into each other a little bit. Are you picking up his slack and vice versa?
So a little bit sometimes, but I'm more of like the tech lady. So I'm a tech person.
Oh, well, will you help us out in our studio,
Yeah,
please?
please.
Because I'm just making this up as I go along.
So any like plugins, John like, Barbara, can you update all this? Like, for example, the consoles, they have to be, software needs to be updated.
Okay.
Every, certain months they come out with a new software update. If you don't update it, then you're on the field and then that kind of breaks down and doesn't work the way you want it to be. So my goal is to update all the software on, that's what I do. Like I do software updates. And then I make sure that we have, because we have tablets, like iPads for a lot of our consoles. So we make sure that we have like the app updated for when our engineers using it, everything connects seamlessly. So that's kind of like more of like my position, and then also like invoices and, sending payments and all that kind of stuff.
Side of it, yeah. When you have 6 stages, do you have 6 audio engineers managing the stages, or can you guys all do it from one place?
We have more than 6 sound engineers. So we usually have 1 sound engineer per stage, but we also have techs. So the tech is kind of like the running. This past year was my first year being on site because the year before I was pregnant and I had just given birth.
Yeah.
And my husband did everything by himself. He's like running around in like a little car.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
It's a lot.
So this past year, I was on site and I was more like, checking to see, hey, does the engineer need food? How's the stage doing?
Okay.
Do they need a break? And then we have 2 techs that are running around and know how to run a sound board, but they're not on that same level as an engineer is. So we have like our A1 and our A2s. So the A1s are going to be the ones running the sound. And then the A2s just pop in with like, maybe plugging in the cables, making sure the artist has their connection the right way, making sure that if the engineer needs a potty break, they go take a potty break. If they need food, we'll just have them run, bring some food. Like I was bringing like coffee for some engineers and just honestly, it was just driving around and checking on the stages, making sure the sound is good, making sure if you hear any comments, we do hear the comments when people are right there listening to music. Every time I'm like, I'll see like at the stage, especially in like a small town, I can hear like, people are like, oh, what's going on? Like, what do they sound like? You can hear. And I'm like,
well, that's cool, though.
Let's check on that. I was like, let's talk to the engineer about this.
Just having the little bit of experience we have with a couple of things we do here, that gives me the heebie-jeebies to think about 300, 400, 500 people standing out there listening to the audio through what you set up and the number of places that can go wrong.
But wouldn't it be cool, though, Steve, to just kind of sit in and watch and just sit back and watch what they're doing? And
running this little Rodecaster Pro 2, which is really nothing compared to what you guys run, just overwhelms me sometimes. So it's pretty cool that you guys have learned. How did you learn how to do all that stuff?
So John Ray learned the mixing because he used to mix his own music first. Okay. So it kind of translates to live sound. But you do have to get some training on the specific console. So we've used, in the past, we would have someone come in and host a training for like some of our engineers. And we would just have like pizza and food or something. And we would just host a training and they would go through all the different parameters. Like, what does this do? Or how can you get into this screen? Because a lot of times, some of our consoles, you have to like dive deep into screens. And so we got to the point where we were hiring also people that were really knowledgeable for that specific console, and it would translate to other consoles. And then those people would recommend other engineers that were good at it. And we got to the point where like John was like, I'd rather hire someone that's really good at it and knows their stuff, because I know some, but I'm not like I can't master it. Like we have some engineers that are like they make like fades in the music while they're performing live. Like they just make like the voice, speak, come out more. The guitar is sounding better. Like they add maybe some reverb to the guitar live.
Oh, okay.
So when we needed Founders, we had some amazing engineers at Founders.
So they're not just sitting there and they go, okay, I got the levels good, and they're watching. They're adjusting the sound as it goes on. That's pretty wild.
Are these guys that you're working with, are these all gig workers? In the music industry, or is there a union that you reach out to these particular workers, or do you have like a pool of people that you're constantly pulling from? We
work with contractors. So a lot of them, back in the day, this guy, he started Austin Sound Engineers. It's this guy and this girl. And we joined, and I joined at first when we first started a company, and that's where we found a lot of our engineers. Okay. And we started with some that were just learning, kind of like at the same level that we were at. And then eventually they got really good, and now they're like with touring bands. Like we have some engineers that we started with, and now they're like, they're not touring with like famous bands up over there. And we're like, can you come back? Yeah. But I'm like, it's kind of cool to see them grow. Like, so we've given them opportunities to run sound for so many other musicians, especially with the UT frat gigs. Like they were able to have the opportunity to run sound for like a famous hip hop artist,
Yeah.
or a famous EDM artist that you wouldn't normally get,
And it builds their
And it
resume.
builds the resume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that. That makes sense. Wow. That's a lot going on right there. I didn't know you guys did all that. What is, so also on your bio, Moon Lab Studios. What is that?
Moon Lab Studios. So we used to be everything under Kingdom Sound.
Okay.
But then we realized, we're like, well, Kingdom Sound is more of our production stuff, but we also want to help artists record their music because we were already doing that under Kingdom Sound. We weren't, I feel like that was taking more than our sound company was for a period of time. But then eventually we focused more on Kingdom Sound. We even hired a business coach to help us like figure things out. And he was like, you need to get a storage unit. We're now getting a storage place. Yay! For the first time.
So you're not having to live out of a garage.
Yeah. So we live out of we have a shed, but that shed is getting overflowed. Like there's like, you have to like play Tetris.
And you probably also need like climate controlled, and 'cause you have a lot of expensive equipment now that you're getting a little bit more.
So you're saying you had a studio inside a shed? That you
No.
were
No, all of their
okay.
equipment was
Oh,
being
your
held in there.
was stored
Yeah.
in a shed. Okay.
So when we have Moon Lab Studios, well, actually our equipment back in their small space was in the garage. You're right.
Yeah.
It was. I think people would show up and like clients would be like, I just picked up this gear from the garage. We're like, oh, I mean, that's
I mean,
no,
you know,
there's
that's-
no way we could be in the garage
works.
anymore.
Yeah.
But Moon Lab Studios had to be separated. We talked to a business coach and they're like, you know, you want to keep your sound company here and you want to keep your studio separate. It just made sense. And we sat down and talked about it and we're like, it makes sense. Like we can focus on two different things. And at the same time, they all kind of connect with each other. Because for example, we run sound for some of our artists that we record. And we are able to offer those services. And a lot of the artists that we also have come into the studio, they met us at a sound gig. So we ran sound for them and they, you know, we really liked them. Or we reached out to them. We're like, hey, do you have any content out? Do you have any music out? We'd love to record you. We really like you.
That's really cool. So, recording studios kind of notoriously have some outlandish stories and stuff without kind of breaking any kind of confidentiality. What's kind of the craziest story that you've had, whether famous or non-famous?
And if you don't have one, make one up.
Yeah, if you don't have one, make one up.
I mean, we don't have any crazy stories, but we've seen so many of our artists grow to the level that they're like signed to a label.
That's really
Which
neat.
is like, for us, that's a huge deal. Like we've had an artist, Coleman Jennings. I'm saying his name because there's no, but he's a great musician. He came into our studio and we help him with his website. We'd help him with like Instagram, social media, recording his first songs, and he's now signed to a label.
Is he local?
He'll
Is he
be.
someplace?
He was a UT Austin student, and he's actually going to be releasing an album this year.
We have our
pretty cool.
local kids, Logan Papp and Ty Myers, who is
Ty Myers.
Ty
Yes.
Myers is
Did you
blowing
ever
things.
work with Ty?
So we ran sound for Ty.
Okay.
I think his dad. I think
Michael.
his dad hired us for a sound, and I think my husband delivered. I'm not sure who it was on that one, but I do remember making an invoice for that.
We had him here in the studio, and he's a great
right
kid.
before he just went, off the planet. He came in right when he was just really launching his career.
He had the
taken
flu,
off.
remember?
Yeah.
He was so sick. His picture that we have of him, he looks like he's asleep, but
he
he's
still
like,
showed up.
he's sick as a dog.
That's a true artist right there.
That's-
yeah.
Another client that we are working with that I have hopes that he's local. It's Mitch, and I think he might have been on your podcast.
Mitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he came and did a retreat with us for a whole week. Hetrick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he came and did a retreat with us for a week. I think it was a month ago. And he got back into music. So I keep getting on his butt. I'm like, I want to see something.
Wait a minute. I
Yeah.
thought he was still, is he back or is he still living in Tampa?
He's back.
Okay.
I didn't know
Well,
that.
I'm
We
going
haven't
to,
I saw
run
him
into him
yesterday, so yeah.
Mitch,
Okay.
I'm going to text you and you're going to be in big trouble,
We
mister.
are disappointed that
Yeah.
you didn't let us know
You're
were
going to be in
back.
big
Yeah.
trouble for sure. We love Mitch.
He's great.
Yeah, because actually I'm going to Tampa next week, and I was like, well, I'll text Mitch and see
Yeah.
what's up with him.
Barbara, has your business gotten to the point now where you're not having to advertise or anything? Just people are coming to you and you have more business than you can handle, or are you still trying to grow it?
We're at the point where we're still trying to grow. We started doing Google Ads, I think
Okay.
2 months ago, and
Okay.
it was mainly for our consoles because we got some new consoles that are primarily touring consoles.
Okay.
So some of our business is touring packages, which those are, they pick it up, They leave for 6 weeks.
Oh, you're just renting them the
Yeah.
equipment. Okay, gotcha.
So we do that too. We do a lot of touring packages, and a lot of them is like, famous musicians that are playing in LA, and they're also touring all the way across. So they want to take their gear with them along the way. So we do that package.
Does that make financial sense for them to rent them or lease them from you versus buying their own?
So when we talked to one of our engineers, they said yes. Because there's something about, I don't know if it's like insurance or something related with that whenever they rent it, they're just like in the budget or like in whatever their schedule is for the tour or whatever it is, it just makes more sense to just do that. Also, sometimes they go across country. So that's another thing. Like they may go to China, or they may go to Japan.
I've heard a lot of musicians chitter chatter about Southwest Airlines, and with their no free bags, they used to let musicians travel with their guitars in their case, and it wouldn't be extra. And now that they're charging, people are like bouncing off of Southwest Airlines because of that. But it's I can only imagine how like you're taking your prized possession, your guitar or whatever,
very, very expensive,
and you're watching the baggage handlers just kind of chunk it over.
Because these consoles got to be super expensive.
They are. So we do work with some, I can't remember, there's a name for them, but there's a service that comes and picks them up, and they will deliver it at the airport where they're landing.
Oh, okay.
So they don't go through, they're not going through baggage claim. It's more of like, this is a service that we just pick it up, and they're way cheaper. They charge a lower fee.
Yeah.
And it's easy.
So I wanted to ask you in regards to your business. So you guys started out this young couple, but you graduated from college, and you guys are just kind of figuring this out as you go along. How did you learn the business sense of it? Did you, from the very beginning, did you go to like the Small Business Administration, and did you like go to the bank and get loans, or did you have family support? How did you initially start to where you are today? So
we do have family investors that are supporting as far as like the gear goes. But we also, when we first started, we did the Small Business Administration. I think it's in Austin. They have some courses for like small businesses. And Johnny will be like laughing about this because I would drag him at 8 a.m. because he was a musician. And at that age, he was like, I'm not getting up past like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m., right? So I would drag him, and we would make it there at 8 a.m. and they would go over, the small business.
Your business plan and what
all of that. And like I knew some of that from college, but you forget about it, and it's very different when you go and learn how to start a small business.
Well, now you're vested because it's your money and your time, and you're trying to learn about like instead of it's just like some abstract idea.
Were these you borrowed money from SBA, or these were just free classes?
They're free classes. No, they have classes.
But you didn't have to pay. I mean, you didn't have to be engaged with the SBA in some. Well, that's pretty.
Maybe
cool.
it wasn't SBA. Maybe it was. I think it might have been SBA. I don't remember. It's a program that they offer in Austin, and it's like Travis County Small Business.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah,
it must be that.
It is. Yeah.
And they would host them like where. Toys R Us used to be. They would host them in that little spot area. Okay. And you just show up, and there was like
really
20,
cool.
30
If you're thinking
people.
about running a business, I think there's a lot of people that start small businesses and they think, well, they have a hobby and they're really good at it. And they go, well, I'm really good at this hobby. But if you're going to have a business, you also have to be a business person.
Yeah.
And like in real estate, we talk about it all the time. Your marketing, your PR, your all these different things that, customer relations, you're all those things wrapped up into one person.
The business of doing business, right?
Yeah. A lot of people don't think about that, but you've got that background for it.
Yeah, and not just that, but my husband was in restaurants too. So he had the sales, and he worked for Sandra Bullock's restaurant downtown. Like as far as like fancy restaurants, like he had the service, and I was in service oriented like activities in college. So I understood also working for White Lodging, Marriott. You get like when I would interview, because I would interview for front desk manager, you go through like a 4-hour interview process. And it's like, I can't remember the name of it, but they literally go through like your childhood and everything into that period all the way up to where you're at now. And
it's like being on a podcast.
Yeah. It is. It's crazy.
For sure. That's crazy. Yeah. I think I do agree with you. I think there's a lot of people that have some hobby and they're like, oh, I'm going to turn this into a business, and that's where it fails.
A lot of times they fail because they don't realize you also have to have some.
Do you guys have a professional mentor that you guys can go to that kind of has an established studio or?
Who do you go to for advice?
So we do. We have several mentors that we know and that we have recommendations. I mean, Eric Serafin is one of our mixing engineers that he mixes our songs. And, sometimes we ask him for advice on like a client or something like that. We also have mentors his, father-in-law. I mean, not father-in-law, his stepdad also will have.
I was going to say that would be your father if it's his
my father-in-law. Will also have, guide us, and family will guide us. My parents would guide us. They would also kind of like. My dad was more of like, he's starting his own business as well. So I've always been involved in, the little nitty gritty stuff about business. And I was always like, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? The one thing that I always say, like, even as musicians and even as, any small business, like you said, like for musicians, music is the easy part, really. Mm-hmm. The rest is knowing how to market it, knowing how to reach out to the right people, knowing how to, sell your product, because what do you have? Yeah. What are you offering?
And handle problems as they pop up. I think a lot of people melt down the first time they have an obstacle, but that's part of business. It's just the things come and go. We first met you at the Dripping Springs Women's Club thing, and you had asked us because you wanted to start your own podcast. Have you done it yet?
I have not, and I'm going to do it. I'm a planner, and that is one of my, I like to say that's one of my good things, and also downsides.
An over planner, apparently.
Over planner, yes. And I've always been an over planner with everything. And my husband, that's why we're a great team, because I will give him an idea, and he'll be more like,
let's go.
Let's go.
That's me.
But your podcast, though, is not necessarily about music. Your podcast is your other life, your passion, which is health.
It is. So it is called The Healthy Rabbit. And I already started creating all the logo, and I already started creating all the names. I think I already created an Instagram account. I just haven't posted on it. But it's going to revolve around the circle of life. And in a way, it's about the circle of like the different areas that make a person healthy, which is not just eating food. Right. It's, doing your passion, doing something that you love. Also education, like learning, because you should never stop learning. That's my thing. Like, I feel like that really keeps people young.
Well, and in health, what was people took for granted 25 years ago, now research has shown that's not true. You think like the food pyramid is a perfect example of that. 25 years ago, we were all trying to live that food pyramid. Now we're all like, maybe not so much. So so education and your health journey is super important. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. So education, health journey, your passion, your art, creativity, home cooking, your finances. That's also part of, if you think about it.
Well, organic food is very expensive as well. When you say finances, it is kind of funny about how they want you to eat healthy, but the healthier the food is, the more expensive it is.
But the counter to that is if you eat unhealthy food, you're going to spend a lot more money in healthcare costs. Guaranteed. You'll go to the doctor a lot more, and when you do get sick, you're going to have some serious
I think
things.
That's like, RFK also right now, when he's adjusting this food pyramid, I think they say the food pyramid gets adjusted every 4 or 5 years, something like that. But all of the additives and the dyes that they're trying to take out of all of our foods, and I think and the products they're taking away from the WIC programs and the SNAP programs, you should not be able to buy Coca-Cola when you're when you're on
the food that we eat too much of in this country is horrible. Isn't it, Barbara?
My thing is, I like to keep it simple. You need vegetables. Yeah. You need fruits. Yeah. You need some healthy carbs. Protein. You need some protein, and you need fiber.
Well, I wanted to ask you this question. So, how, as a vegetarian, are you
still a vegetarian?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay. So, why are you not? And 2, how were you getting enough protein when you were a strictly vegetarian?
Not a vegetarian anymore.
So that was one of the biggest things. So I became vegetarian. I was doing yoga at the time. And I got to the point where I was I was a little unhealthy level. I ended up getting a hernia. And I had to go to the hospital and get the hernia removed. It was about to, if I hadn't gone, it was purple. It was turning purple. Ooh, so that took me down to not being able to do workout for another, 6 weeks maybe? And that shifted my perspective and was like, okay, obviously I thought I was doing fine being vegetarian and doing yoga and like meditating, all this stuff. But in reality, I wasn't. I was overdoing it. My body was not, it wasn't healing and it wasn't, having that time of like rest, because rest is needed, right? You can't just be working out all the time and not rest. You also can't just be working out all the time and not do other things that you love and that you enjoy. So that's one of the things that turned me into that. And then also, my husband, he eats meat. So the one thing that I don't eat majority of the time is red meat. So I do like bison. But I also try to do like bison with lots of broccoli. I like broccoli and carrots. So I think that was one of the points that made me kind of like shift. And then I also went into, during COVID, I was pregnant, and as a soon-to-be mom, I wanted to learn more about my health. So I signed up for IIN, which is the health coach certificate, and I did it in 6 months. And I would wake up in the morning at 5 because I couldn't fall asleep because baby was kicking. Yeah. And I literally just did it in 6 months, and I finished it. And that opened my eyes to like, I think you do like 100 different dietary theories. So it opened my eyes to like see all the different like diets that people get into. But at the end of the day, you need fruit, vegetables, protein.
It's pretty simple.
Was it hard for you though to make that kind of mental shift? Not necessarily on a taste bud level, but like from a mental, you're like, because when you were vegetarian, there was probably a reason why you became vegetarian, right? Whether it was ethical reasons or whatever it is. And then now all of a sudden you're like, okay, I need to do this for my body. I have to. So how did you switch your way of thinking?
I think it was a lot of like dive deep into my own health and how can I make, like I went to a doctor and I had like a puffy belly. Like it looked like I was pregnant at one point, and it was hard. So I went to 3 different doctors, and one of them was like, let's do an elimination diet. So it all kind of led to like different people kind of like sharing their expertise, which is why I feel like the healthy rabbit is like an ideal thing.
Yeah.
Because
you're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Not just a rabbit hole, but like everybody, like there's so many different areas that actually help your health. It's not just the food you eat, and it's not just moving your body, and it's not just doing your passion, what you love. It's all of that. Yeah. And it's also like, if your finances are, a hinder on your life right now, that's going to affect your food, how your food is digested. That's also going to affect how your productivity is. And if you eat the right foods, that's also going to affect how your creativity can be explored. And sometimes you need to have a little more
It's a big circle, like you said. Yeah, if you're not performing well at work, you don't make as much money. You don't have as much money to buy good food. Yeah, it's this vicious cycle. Well, I want to encourage you not to overthink your podcast and just, you have all the equipment. That's what stops most people. You have all the equipment.
And you have the know-how.
I would do it next week. Start it next week, especially if you have all the artwork done. Just do it.
But
just get it going.
Consistency, right, Mallet?
That's what we've discovered.
You've got to
the number one thing that throws people off is they go, if you look, I think 80% of the podcasts that are out there have less than 10 episodes. I think it is.
What is she, 186?
Yeah, you're 188. You're episode 188.
You are amazing.
But the thing about it is they do the first couple, they're very enthusiastic. And then the 3rd, 4th, and 5th one, maybe you're not getting the traction that you want. And so you get a little bit disappointed. And then it starts to become kind of a trudgery. But if you keep going at some point, our first couple were... But well, first of all, they kind of sucked, but we got through them. And
I wouldn't say,
I
wouldn't say they sucked. I would say they sucked compared to where we are now. We still suck, but we don't suck as much as we used to suck.
But I
think you're doing great.
Thank you.
We're having a lot of fun.
You give me a lot of hope being because I've thought about a podcast for like years. I'm not even kidding you. I brought it to my husband. He's like, are you sure it's not going to take a lot of time? Are you sure it's not going to be too?
I think with your passion for what you're talking about and the knowledge that you already have, you could start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think you could knock it out of the
park. It is funny because listening to you or watching you talk about this and then talk about Kingdom Sound, you're both very excited, but when you talk about your health journey, you're very animated and you can tell that's your passion for sure.
You can tell. So I'm going to email you next week. Have you started your podcast yet?
No. I feel like everybody should have an opportunity to be healthy and not just feel like it's food. I guess.
But there's so much disinformation out
There
there now,
is.
especially on social media. There's so much crap.
It's overwhelming.
It really is. It's hard to figure out the truth from the falsehoods out there. Okay, what's really, for a while, carbs were terrible for you. Now you follow professional cyclists. They're eating 120 grams of carbs an hour when they're working
Well,
out.
you know why?
It's a
It's
huge
because
amount of
if it's coming, I think there's a big movement that if it's coming from the government, it's got to be false. And I mean, it all started
that's
via COVID during the COVID times, and they're trying to push this vaccine shot down everybody's throat. And I think everybody's
that did a lot of harm.
I think everybody's weary, and it's kind of refreshing to have RFK in there and say, okay, man, like this needs to go, and that and how weird is it that you can go to Europe and I can eat bread in Europe, but I can't eat bread down the street.
Right?
It's like it's stupid. It's bread.
Get some sourdough.
Yeah, it's bread. I eat sourdough. I eat sourdough exclusively now.
sourdough.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, it is true, but I think we're headed in the right direction in this country. Well, Barbara, you had in your bio that one of your special talents is that you can hula hoop.
Yeah, you can hula hoop.
Oh, yeah.
3.5. You said 3.5 to 4 minutes. So we got a little surprise for you behind the curtain over there.
You did not. Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh, why didn't you tell me? I would have gotten one. I would have gotten
That
a
would
hula
be
hoop.
I'm kidding.
That would have been awesome.
I do know how long because I've tracked it to one of our songs. I was like, look, I'm gonna hula hoop to this song, and I was in the studio and I was hula hooping, and I was like, I did 3.5, and my husband's like, I was like, hey, that's a skill.
I think that is a skill.
I need to get better at it.
I think I could do it for about 6 seconds, maybe.
Okay, we're gonna get a hula hoop.
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
Coming soon to Ballad and Michelle.
That's right. I have a couple of rapid fire questions. Okay, I want to ask you. Okay, so artist, dead or alive, who would you love to record with?
Oh God, that's so hard.
You can give us a couple if
First
you want.
one that comes to mind. Who's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite.
You don't have any favorites?
I don't have it. And I think because I told my husband, I was brought in a way where I listened to so many different music, and my personality was I want to analyze all, and when we started making music and started working on songs, I was I want to analyze all the best 80s artists. I do love 80s. I do love 80s. I must say that.
Maybe Whitney Houston. See?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
See, I would love to just be able to be a fly on the wall back in the days, when even though I'm not a Stones fan, but the Rolling Stones or the Doors or Led Zeppelin, somebody like
Led
that,
Zeppelin.
just sit back there and just watch how that
Before
recording.
music got to be all commercial and
I got
marketing.
Led Zeppelin would probably.
that would
as
just
a
be,
guy.
or Black Sabbath.
I mean, Fleetwood Mac, right?
Oh God,
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh
that's-
man, the
Stevie
drama.
That would be
right. Okay.
Yeah, we actually went to the studio in LA where they actually made her booth, and it's
really?
it's gorgeous. It was made for her, and it's a beautiful booth. You can look it up online.
Okay, I'm
But
gonna
it's
have
Fleetwood
to.
Mac, and it's at what's the name of the studio? Oh my God, I can't remember. It's in LA because we went there to do a shooting. We recorded some music there, a short thing, but.
That's pretty cool.
But they made her own booth, and when we talked to the people there, they actually told us that they actually made a bathroom specifically for her because there were 2 bathrooms there, and there was the guys' bathroom, and she didn't want to be in the guys' bathroom.
That would be
So
me.
they
I was
made-
like, I need a specific.
This was Stevie Nicks you're talking
yeah,
about?
Stevie Nicks. You can even look up Stevie Nicks singing booth. I would say.
bunch of
Okay,
pictures
so
up there. What's the
next question
one?
I have. So you have one day. You have no phone. You can have no business talk. You're with John Ray, right? No kids. Just nothing. Just the two of you. How do you spend it? Where do you guys go?
Where would it go? Hawaii. I'm just kidding.
Hawaii. Yeah.
24
just turn
hours.
off.
You got 24
I know.
hours.
I only got 24 hours. Making music.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Making love. I'm just kidding.
Right? There you go. Making love, making music.
Is that safe? Is that
I think
safe?
That's
a
safe.
song.
Totally
Making love,
safe.
making music.
Totally safe.
Making love, making music.
And if you had a signature soundtrack or a song to your life up to now, what would it be that you can think of?
It hasn't been recorded yet.
Oh,
I like that.
look at that.
It has yet to be recorded.
That may be the title of our podcast. It hasn't
If you're
been
okay
recorded
with that,
yet.
we may.
Still working on it.
Yeah, still working on it.
I do want to start a nonprofit, and it's going to happen. We're starting one this year too.
Oh,
And the Healthy Rabbit.
And the Healthy Rabbit.
I'm telling you, you got to do it. I think you would get a lot of people to listen. I think you really would. you obviously have a lot of knowledge about it, and people are looking
and
for
passionate,
the truth.
absolutely passionate. You're very relatable. That's the nice thing that I like. It's like you're not down your throat.
And your journey is a lot of the same people that would listen are on the same kind of journey. They got a couple kids at home, they're trying to keep things going. They got a business or they got a job, and they're juggling all that stuff. And I want to be healthy. And you've got the knowledge.
I want none of that fog. That's my thing. Yeah. Do you ever notice when you eat like something that's not right for your body, you get like that fog, and you just can't think. Yeah, and you're just like, like why?
But sometimes it's delicious. Like Steve and I were like, sometimes it's worth it. Like,
that's my thing.
This is gonna hurt my stomach, but it's worth it.
I can't have dairy. I'm allergic to dairy. So,
yeah,
same.
But when there's like cheesecake that is like really good, I'm like, can I please have a piece?
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe two.
I know. Sometimes I do. I cave in.
Welcome to the No Cheese Club.
Cookies and brownies are my downfall, but I'm working
Barb,
on that.
you have been just fascinating sitting here talking to you. Absolutely. Yeah. We love to support local businesses. How does someone find you guys if they want to know all about your business? You've got a couple of different websites. Right?
So we got Kingdom Sound if you want live sound production, and also don't forget Dripping Springs Songwriter Festival's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
I want people there.
Let me. It's KingdomSoundTX.com for and then Moonlab StudioTX.com.
And the Dripping Springs.
The Moonlab is the recording, the studio part, and Kingdom Sound is your production company where you.
And the Songwriters Festival is in October 17th through the 19th.
I'll be in Kansas.
You'll be in Kansas, like Dorothy.
That sounds like fun too.
I'll be in Kansas. I'll be somewhere too.
Running a half marathon in Kansas.
Oh wow!
City,
Congratulations.
Well, maybe I'll be in town and I'll come and swing by but we'd love to have you. Maybe we'll get John Ray on here at some point too. Get him a little.
I can't wait to listen to your podcast.
Yeah, we can't.
No pressure though, Barb.
And you let us know when it launches because we'll support you. We'll plug it here.
No
pressure. It'd be really good. And remember, it's just like anything else you've done. You won't be perfect at it to begin with, but every episode you'll get better and better and better and better. So do it.
I won't trip over my words and
I trip. I trip over my words all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I make up words.
Yeah, she does.
I do. I make up words.
I don't correct her, so I just leave it hanging out there. So, well, Barbara, it's been fun. I'm really glad that you came in today. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome.
You guys are doing amazing stuff.
Oh,
well,
I'm like, I look up to them like it's like I'm perfect.
Thank you. Well, go and follow her on. You have Instagram also, and then follow us on Instagram too.
Mallet and Michelle on Instagram.
Absolutely.
We need some more followers.
Mallet and Michelle. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Find your joy at Jovi Belterra. Life is better here. This thoughtfully designed 55-plus community is paired with resort-style amenities and social activities. They offer 1- and 2-bedroom homes located in Dripping Springs, the gateway to the Hill Country. Make friends, make memories, make time for you at Jovi Belterra. Live JoviBelterra.com, 737-387-6870.
From rodeo clowns, teachers or doctors, and everyone in between, Texans have one thing in common: hard work deserves smart banking. At Southstar Bank, whether you're buying your first home, building a dream ranch, or just managing daily finances, our 16 branches across Central Texas are here for you. Southstar Bank, trusted by professionals, backed by tradition, and built for Texas. SouthstarBank.com, member FDIC, an equal housing lender, NMLS 410624. Your weekend doesn't really start till you're with Deep Eddy Vodka.
The tasting room in Dripping Springs, where the Hill Country gathers.
Sip real fruit vodka, handcrafted cocktails, or a mocktail if you're keeping it light.
Food trailers on the weekends, a family-friendly vibe, and you've got your new favorite hangout. Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Sip local, sip real in Dripping Springs.
Follow Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room on Facebook and Instagram for what's pouring and what's happening.
This show is brought to you in part by the Mallet Integrity Team, serving Dripping Springs, Austin, and the surrounding areas of Central Texas since 2004. When you need the best real estate advice and service, give them a call at 512-829-2062 or email them at malletintegrityteam.com.
You know you like us, so go now to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave us a review. Why don't ya? We love your feedback and comments. Email us at malletandmichelle@gmail.com.
Thanks for putting up with us.